he's going to use that as kind of that example as to what he really wants to see you guys doing. You defended, great on 5-on-5. What do you think, as far as one of the leaders in the room, how did that kind of transpire with the team?
Yeah, I think it was a good game against a really good team, and I think even the second period against Florida is probably one that we can look back always at how we have to play. But Boston was I think probably the best 60 minutes we played all year, and they're a really good team, and we were able to kind of defend well and not give them much. And then Georgie played a good game also, so very solid game.
And Caleb had said that the team really kind of had that chemistry going that entire game. What changed from the game against the Panthers to that game?
Yeah, I feel like we were connected, like all the lines on the forecheck, really, hungry on the forecheck and connected group. We were three forwards close to each other, and if we do that, then our D can stay up on their forwards, and we can just keep them playing defense, and I think that's what we were really good against Boston for sure.
Mikko, you played 30-plus minutes last game. Do you do anything different to recover after a big game like that?
Yeah, well, you try to ride a bike a little bit, and I get massage maybe, and just do basically normal things. And then obviously yesterday try to just take it easy and recover more, yeah, it's a lot on the power play too, So I think 8 minutes on the power play, which is not as you don't forecheck or you don't. It's kind of sometimes you're standing around. So I felt pretty good in the overtime with the energy wise, and so if they want to keep playing 30, I'll keep playing. I don't mind it. Yeah.
Nate's on kind of a great point streak at home. How difficult is that? I mean, I think he's 22 straight at home. He's had at least a point.
Yeah, it's great, And it's not easy to do 22 games straight at home to record a point and be productive like he's been. So it's been great for our team, and he's one big reason why we're winning games. So we try to keep it going, and for sure he's thinking the same way.
I caught Gabe on the bench this morning. How important is that to have him kind of around with you guys in big games like this?
Yeah, it's great to have him back in the town and around the team. His presence, even though he's not playing, it's huge, and guys have a lot of respect for him. Obviously, he's our captain, and so I think it's mentally good for him and good for us to have the captain around.
You're missing some key players. What do you think it said about this group that you were able to beat a good team like Boston that you can apply again tonight against Vegas?
Yeah, I think the guys are playing well now. I think we're defending better. Like last 10 games, I feel like we've been really defending a lot better, and you can tell our record is 7-3 or something. I think, and we're 7-2-1 in the last 10. So I think the defending side of it is helping us play more productive in the offensive zone and also get some more wins.
Devon was just saying that even though it was 2 months ago, the fact that the last Vegas game was as unavalanche a game as there can be. He says, yeah, that carries over. We're still looking to kind of make up for that.
For sure, yeah. I remember that game, and we want to kind of always, there's those kind of moments when you play a game like that and you play them next, you kind of remember that you don't want to, same thing to happen, you kind of want to give it back to them, but they're a good team, so they're not going to give it to us easily. So, but yeah, for sure we remember what happened before in November.
I know the fans are excited to see the champs versus the last champs. Does it mean any more to you guys?
Well, no, it's just another game, but obviously you get fired up, and it's in our conference. They're right behind us in the standings, but yeah, it's. I would say it's another game, but good team. So obviously you probably get more fired up a little bit to play Florida, Boston, Vegas than maybe some other teams.
With all the success at home this year, what's been the key to playing so well at home?
Obviously, our home crowd has been great, and we feed off of that. I feel like we have really good first periods lately in the at home, and the way we've been getting out of the gate. Other than the Florida game, that was not good, but otherwise we've been really good in the first. But But yeah, I feel like just I don't know, maybe it's the altitude, I don't know, but we're used to it, so maybe it helps us, I don't know.
Do you sense the other teams are a little fatigued, especially if they're coming off long road trips to get here?
Yeah, that's what I've heard, like talking to other guys I know around the league and other Finnish guys, that always coming here is not easy, especially if you're end of the road trip or back-to-back or something like that. So it's not easy, and we feel it too after a road trip in the East Coast or on the sea level, that we come back, you feel more tired for sure. So it's probably an advantage to us.
Thank you, Mikko.
Thank you.
Why not? Sick, injured, whatever it may be. So it's just finding the chemistry as soon as you can, especially with the limited practice time we have. You just got to sort of make the most of it when you can.
That being said, last time you saw these guys, it definitely wasn't a game that you probably want to repeat. What are the kind of mindsets that you have, to really change that this time around?
Definitely, yeah, that was a tough game with the mom's trip there too. So I think try and get a little revenge tonight. We've always had good battles against this team. Last game was sort of an exception to that, but regardless, I think it's always a good test for us going up against them. They play fast, they play hard, so it's on us to get off to a good start and play our style of hockey. I think the Boston game for us was sort of a good template and blueprint for what we can look forward to do against the good teams within the league and carry that over into every matchup we have.
Thank you.
I just feel like you have a big edge here in this arena and how many games you won.
Yeah, I think anytime a team comes into our building, we feel as though we have an edge just based off of the crowd we have. The fans are amazing here, and anytime we play at altitude, it's obviously difficult too. So try and take that into our advantage and then use the matchups when we can.
Kalen said last game that you guys had the chemistry going that entire game. What do you think changed from the game against the Panthers to the game against the Bruins?
I think the big start was huge for us. Panthers, we were down 3-0 off the get-go sort of thing, whereas last game we had a little bit more hung through 60 minutes, a little more consistency within that. The Panthers game we were here and there, but against good teams within the league, you're going to have to find more consistency throughout 60 minutes. And as the year goes on, that's more and more crucial. The games get tighter. We're at halfway mark now, so for us, it's rounding that game out in different areas and it starts to complete 60.
MacKinnon's home point streak, is there kind of an awareness about that around the locker room and kind of desire to keep that going for him, especially as he's attempting to tie sack?
Yeah, definitely want to keep it going for him. We're all aware of it. It's sort of just something we don't really talk about, though. You don't want to get ahead of yourselves or anything, but it's awesome to see. I mean, he's playing on a different level right now. He's really helped us out, and we wouldn't be where we're at within the league if it weren't for him, obviously, and he's sort of been an absolute animal out there. So when he's doing that, he's a big leader within the room on the ice, so it's easy for other guys to follow that up and try and replicate his work ethic on the ice, whether it's in practice or whatnot, and you're seeing it pay dividends with his game right now.
Your role's been depth is a challenge. How do you want to continue to support the top guys that are leading the way?
Yeah, I think for us, it's winning our matchups. Anytime you're out there, win your line matchup throughout the game. I think that's the biggest thing probably is they are a deep team, and we pride ourselves on being deep too. We wouldn't be where we're at within the standings if it wasn't for our depth. So it's on us to win the matchups throughout the game, regardless of who you're out there against.
And your role's elevated. Do you try to change your game at all, or is it just you just only know one way to play?
Yeah, not really. I think I'm at the point in my career where I know what gives my game success, and that shouldn't deviate where I'm at in the lineup. I think just being hungry on pucks, good on the forecheck, those are sort of the staples within my game, and then using my speed to my advantage, try and do those types of things, and I think that'll help other line mates regardless of who I'm playing with. So just stick to my identity as a player and not get confused whether I'm up or down in the lineup.
Mikko recognized tonight was a good team that you're playing against, but also described it as just another game. Is there some awareness in the back of your mind that this is a potential matchup down the line?
Not really. I think anyone within the West can come out of it. So for us, it's just focusing on ourselves and playing how we know we can play. I think, like I mentioned before, we've built a bit of a template here recently. The Dallas game, big comeback win. Florida was an iffy one for us, but then the Boston game, we came back and rallied well. So we're playing a lot of really good teams right now, and it's on us to be tight throughout the game, really focus in on our defensive structure, and then I think if we do that, we're going to get more offensive chances.
You being one of the guys that brings a lot of energy to this team, seeing Gabe on the bench this morning, what does that does that bring a little more energy to the team, him being around?
Definitely, it's always awesome having Landy around. Just the presence he has, it's you can't really replace that type of leader within the locker room, the guy he is, his ability to connect with everyone on a different, unique level is awesome, and just having his energy, he's in great spirits. So it's been awesome having him here on the bench too.
You guys are defending Stanley Cup champions, so generally that means you're the measuring stick team, right? But do you view a game like this against Avalanche as a measuring stick for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you play the top teams in the league, you always want to have a good performance, and yeah, I mean, these are obviously important games. They're a team that's similar to us in the standings, so yeah, you got to take care of business tonight.
What does that look like for you guys? Like, how do you usually worry about yourself and know what the other team's doing. How does success translate for you guys tonight?
Sorry?
How do you translate success tonight against the Avalanche?
For us, I think we're good. We're direct with the puck. I think we're more simple and playing fast. I think recently we've gotten in trouble trying to do too much, so simple game's always a better recipe for us. I think everyone just plays within themselves and within the group, and that's usually when we have success. So, obviously you got to be good on special teams against a good power play like this and a good penalty kill. And there's a lot of little details in the game. They play very fast, and they compete hard. They get some really high-end talent over there, so you got to be aware when they're on the ice as well.
What are some challenges in containing a player like Nathan MacKinnon?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. He possesses so many different threats. He can obviously beat you with his speed and his power. But I think at the same time you gotta be aware he's turned into one of the best playmakers in the league, and his ability to create for other guys and slow the play down, and the chemistry him and Rantanen have. Obviously, they read off each other very well. But yeah, I mean, Nate. He's one of the best players in the world right now, and he's for sure playing like it. I mean, he's playing out of his mind. So we definitely have to be aware when he's on the ice. Try and limit his time and space. Try and get above him when he's building speed and swinging. And he possesses a lot of threats.
Yeah, I know it's been a little bit of time for you since you joined this team, but what about this team made you feel welcome? How did that culture? It seems like you seem to just kind of melded into this group.
Yeah, everyone's just very friendly and welcoming. It was a easy group and locker room to come into. From the minute I got traded, the whole organization obviously welcomed me and made me feel welcome. And then, obviously as you spend more time with these guys and build relationships, you feel better about things. And I think that was it for me. But it didn't take too long. There's a lot of really good guys in this locker room, so it was easy for me to try and come in here and be myself.
Did anybody reach out?
What?
Did anybody reach out?
Did they what?
Did anybody reach out to you, any players? To say, hey, welcome aboard.
Oh yeah, no, a ton of them did when I got traded here. Yeah, the guys were very, they were all great about that.
Because the reason why I ask is it seems like hockey players are like the one group where you could hate each other on the ice, but you'd be the first one to go have a beer or something after. It's just kind of like hockey mantra.
No, I mean, I think that's part of the hockey culture. Like you said, you obviously have that competitiveness on the ice, but I think when you get off the ice and you're not playing a game against someone, I think everyone has a pretty good respect for each other, and whether you like the guy or not on the ice, usually you respect them off the ice. So you can usually have a conversation with someone.
Now at the half point of the season, what would you pinpoint as the greatest need for the team going into the rest of the season?
The greatest need? Obviously health's always a big thing, and I think it was a big factor for us last year. We were able to stay pretty healthy during the playoffs and even towards the end of the season. So being banged up now has definitely been a challenge, but we've had a lot of guys step in and play well, and starting to see guys come back is always a nice thing. So biggest need for us probably just consistency. We've kind of been pretty inconsistent here for the last little bit, and play a good game, play a few not so great games, and just kind of giving too many points away. So just trying to find our consistency and our identity again. We know what that is. The more consistent we can be with that on a night in and night out basis, I think the more chance of success we have.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, right.
Good luck.
How important is that against this team, the Avs?
Well, I think it's important against anybody, but especially against a team that's probably going to score some goals. It's, you can certainly limit them. Not very often. We happened to shut them out last time. They still generated a lot. We got good goaltending, and so that's something that's tough to do. So you're going to need some people chipping in, and but we need it in general for our team. We've been struggling a little bit. It's good for morale, good for everybody when they're getting scoring from up and down the lineup, especially when you're used to that, and good for Nick Waugh for getting a couple.
To that end, they play their top players an awful lot, so that comes down to matchups as well. How does that play into it?
Well, we're not going to match up every shift because we don't play ours that much, so we're probably looking at a couple of different lines. One of them obviously would have been Carla. He's great at that, but he's not available tonight, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Jack can play against anybody we feel, so can Stevie when he's on. We've used our fourth line, Nick Waugh, against anybody, especially face-offs in our end on that right dot, so I'm sure you'll see them out there against them. They take pride in that matchup too, so I think you'll see it by committee. John may look to get one of the deep pairings more than others, but even that, in the playoffs last year, we played whoever was up. We asked them to do the job, and so it's a shared responsibility for us up and down the lineup. But again, with such dynamic guys like that, and now you include a defenseman in the mix, so you need a left winger that can really angle when Makar gets going. And keep them on the outside in the offensive zone. So that's something else. Well, you're not only looking at, okay, here comes MacKinnon, but is Makar right behind him? And it usually is. So, it's a sort of a double whammy there.
Bruce, Jack Eichel mentioned looking for consistency, at the halfway point of the season. What does that mean for you, from your perspective?
For the team or for himself?
For the team.
Listen, we went through a stretch last year in December where we had a tough go. And then we eventually found our game, survived, and then really had a strong second half. So would we like history to repeat itself right into June 13th? Absolutely. So I agree with him. And some of that comes with, we lost Aiden Hill for a stretch. We lost some D, Theo, who ran the power play. So you're putting other people in there. And so there's going to be a little bit of a drop-off, but there was too much. We still have lots of good players, lots of depth. So I agree with them. Some of it may be that mental grind of repeating. Colorado would know that better than anybody. They went through it. And I don't know how it affected them in the middle of the season, but I've been told it could be tough. So I think we are going through it. Now it's time to come out of it here pretty soon because things are tightening up in the West. And I think our guys recognize that. So we have actually addressed that this week. We went back to school a little bit with video and practices and get back to details. So hopefully it translates in our play.
Coach, when you had a player like Barbashev like you did last year, and he seamlessly just gets into the rotation, is that a testament to team chemistry and just what you're building there?
I think it was the fit was good for what the player brought. And there was some other guys out there, right, that are kind of physical, get to the front of the net, can still complement a skill guy like Jack and Marshy, get pucks off the wall in the breakout, doesn't need the puck between the blues. So he was a good fit in what he brought. So that part of it was a testament to the people that identified him and for what we needed on that line. But it's also, our group is a good group, and they were very welcome. Teddy Bluger came in and Jonathan Quick came in and did a great job. So these are all great guys, but I think our room was good at welcoming them and making sure that, that this is how we're going to be good Golden Knights. And, there's a lot of respect in that locker room for every player in the league. You don't have to be a star, and I thought they did a real good job last year.
The reason why I ask this is because it seems like hockey players, unlike any other sport, are good at letting bygones be bygones. What happened off the ice?
Oh yeah, that stuff is part of the game, right? And yes, I do believe that, and a lot of Canadians in hockey. Can I say that?
Jared Bednar was in your shoes last year in terms of managing a group in their title defense season and dealing with a mountain of injuries. What have been some challenges and new perspective that you've gained that people might not realize?
I think what you gain is and I talked to Betsy a little bit, and John Cooper too, about when they won some of the challenges. It was more about training camp probably because we didn't know what we'd face, and now we are going through what Colorado did. I think you're always fighting the moment. Okay, you got to get the best out of your players now versus the long big picture down the road. Let's just nose to the grindstone, keep at it. Maybe we don't like where our game is tonight, but we can't fix it all at once. We got to allow the guys to play through it. They've been there and trust them. So I think that's the part that we're going through now. And then there comes a time where we went through what we lose 7 of 9. That it's like you do got to now get their attention. Hey, this can't go on forever. We're going to give you some slack, but at some point we got to get back to our game and win our share of games. And I think that's the moment we're at now. And it helps that we're going into the second half, because that can just be a mental thing. Now you're in the second half of the season as opposed to still in the first, so the end of the year seems like it's closer to and to the goal that you want to get to. So I think it's kind of a long-winded answer, but I think that's what Bedsy probably went through too at points last year, and we're going through now. And I know Coop went through it because I talked to him about it. So it's just part of the deal. It seems like after you win, there are some injuries, and is that because of the short summer? Is that because of everything was left on the table the year before? I don't have the answer to that, but we're certainly living it.
You get Aiden Hill back, sorry. Is this the perfect timing kind of for that, especially with Logan being out with illness?
Yeah, I mean, the plan was Logan was going to play tonight originally, and we were going to leave Aiden behind to give him a couple extra days and not have to travel for his first game and deal with that part of it, our altitude. But I mean, that was a luxury we felt we had because we were going to split them. They weren't going to go, neither guy was going to go back to back. But that went out the window with Logan's illness, so it's going to be Aiden tonight. If he comes to the rink ready to go tonight, he's in. Logan, we'll see when we get back to Vegas if he's ready to go. Hopefully it's not that serious and he's ready to go. If not, it's Patera, he's here.
Thank you so much.